Eleanor, we need to talk about the wedding gift situation. Good morning, Jeanette. What's on your mind? Simon says you're planning some kind of surprise for the wedding instead of a cash gift. I have to be honest, I'm pretty confused about this. I think there might be some miscommunication here. Simon and I discussed the wedding gift situation, but maybe he didn't explain it fully to you. Well then, please explain it to me because I'm completely in the dark. All I know is that his own sister isn't planning to give us a cash gift like everybody else. Jeanette, I never said I wouldn't give you anything, but Simon specifically asked me to handle things differently. Differently how? What could be more important than supporting your brother's wedding? Instead of giving a traditional cash gift, he asked me to forgive an outstanding debt he owes me. He made it sound like you both had discussed this arrangement and were on board with it. Wait, what? What debt are we talking about here? This is literally the first I'm hearing about any of this. I'm so sorry. I thought you knew about all this. I wouldn't have agreed to this arrangement if I knew you weren't aware. Well, I'm definitely not aware, so please fill me in. How much money are we talking about, and when did this debt happen? Simon borrowed $3,000 from me during his senior year of college. It was for his graduation trip with friends since he wasn't making much from his part-time job. $3,000? That's a lot of money, Eleanor. I already had my full-time job, and he really wanted to go on that trip with his college friends. It seemed important to him at the time, and I was happy to help my little brother. Okay, but that was what, like 4 years ago? Surely he's paid most of that back by now. We agreed he'd start making payments once he got his first real job after graduation. Unfortunately, his job lowballed his starting salary. So, how much does he still owe you exactly? He's made some small payments here and there over the years. There's still about $2,000 outstanding on the original loan. Can't believe Simon never told me about this debt. But even so, that's between you and him, not me. I know this is awkward for you to find out this way, but when Simon approached me about the wedding gift, he specifically requested this arrangement. What exactly did he say to you? He asked if I could consider the debt settled in lieu of giving a wedding cash gift. He said it would be more helpful financially and that you supported his plan. Well, he was wrong because I definitely don't support this plan. I shouldn't be penalized for Simon's broke college days. I can see how this puts you in an uncomfortable position. I should have checked with you before agreeing to anything. Yes, you should have. But what's done is done, so now we need to figure out how to fix this. What did you have in mind? Well, Simon's debt is his responsibility, not mine. Forgiving the debt is great and all, but I really think you should still give us a wedding gift. So, you want me to forgive the $2,000 debt and give you an additional cash gift? Exactly! I'm glad we're in agreement here. I mean, this debt situation has nothing to do with me personally. Jeanette, you're asking me to give up $2,000 plus whatever cash gift amount you have in mind. That's a big ask financially. But you're family now, Eleanor. I know you have a good job. You can afford to be generous. My income really isn't relevant to this discussion. Of course it is. You're single with no major expenses. Meanwhile, Simon and I are starting our married life together. I'm trying to be understanding here, but I'm not sure what my relationship status has to do with anything. Because you have disposable income that married couples don't have. Plus, this is a really important milestone for us. What amount were you thinking for the additional gift? Well, considering your situation, I was thinking $1,000. That way, it doesn't look awkward when other guests see the gift envelope. Let me make sure I understand this correctly. You want me to forgive Simon's $2,000 debt and give you $1,000 cash? Yes, but you can't mention the debt forgiveness part to anyone. As far as everyone else knows, you're just giving a standard wedding gift. So you want me to part ways with $3,000 total, but only let people think it's $1,000? I mean, when you put it like that, it sounds complicated. But really, for someone as well-to-do as you, $3,000 is like pocket change, especially for such a special occasion. I have to say, I'm taken aback by your boldness right now, Jeanette. I'm just being practical. This arrangement benefits everyone and avoids any awkwardness. I need some time to think this whole situation over. It's a lot more complicated than I initially thought. Take all the time you need. Just remember that appearances matter at weddings. What does that mean? Well, you don't want to look like a cheapo in front of all our guests, do you? People notice these things, and it reflects on the whole family. I see. So this is all about keeping up appearances? Partly, yes, but it's also about doing right by your future sister-in-law. All right, I'll consider everything you've said. Let me talk to Simon, and we'll figure something out before the wedding. Perfect! I knew we could work this out. Just make sure you bring that envelope to the reception. I'll keep everything you've said in mind. Great! I'm so excited for you to be part of our special day. And Eleanor, thanks for being so understanding about all this. We'll see how it all works out. Talk to you soon. Can't wait. See you at the wedding. Simon, we need to talk about what you told Jeanette regarding the wedding gift.
Hey, sis, what's up? Is everything okay with you two?
Not exactly. I just had an interesting conversation with your fiancé this morning.
Oh, no, what happened? Please tell me there's no drama between you two.
Well, she had some very specific expectations about the wedding gift situation. Expectations that go way beyond what you and I originally discussed.
What kind of expectations? I thought we had everything worked out.
She wants me to forgive your debt and give an additional $1,000 wedding gift. Apparently, she thinks I can afford to $3,000 total because I'm single and have a good job.
Oh, wow, that's awkward. I'm really sorry, Eleanor. I definitely didn't tell her to ask for extra money on top of the debt forgiveness.
She also made it clear that I need to be discreet about the debt situation. As far as other wedding guests know, I'm just giving a standard $1,000 gift.
That's a lot more complicated than what we originally planned.
Simon, I need to ask, are you and Jeanette having financial problems? She seemed really focused on the money aspect of all this.
Well, wedding planning has been more expensive than we initially budgeted for, and Jeanette really has her heart set on certain things being perfect.
What do you mean by more expensive? How much more are we talking?
We may have gone a bit over our original budget, but it's a once-in-a-lifetime event, you know?
Simon, a bit over could mean anything from a few hundred to several $1,000s. I need you to be honest with me about your financial situation.
It's not that bad, really. We just underestimated some of the costs for the venue, catering, flowers, photography.
And the dress, rings, honeymoon, decorations?
Okay, maybe we underestimated more than some of the costs, but Jeanette has been dreaming about this wedding since she was little.
I understand wanting a nice wedding, but you can't start your marriage drowning in debt. That's going to put enormous stress on your relationship.
I know you're right, but it's hard to say no when she gets so excited about these details. Plus, her friends kept showing their elaborate weddings on social media, and she doesn't want to look cheap. Every time I suggest scaling something back, she gets upset and accuses me of not caring about our special day.
Simon, you're going to be married to this woman for the rest of your life. If she can't compromise on wedding expenses, how is she going to handle other financial decisions?
She's not usually like this, I promise. It's just the wedding stress bringing out this side of her.
Are you sure about that? Because the conversation I had with her this morning was pretty intense. She wouldn't stop talking about what I could afford and what I should be giving you.
What exactly did she say to you?
She said I'm single with no real responsibilities, so I have disposable income. She also said $3,000 isn't that much for someone in my financial position.
She said that? Oh man, I'm so embarrassed. I'll definitely talk to her about being more respectful.
It's not just about respect, Simon. I'm worried about you and how she views money and financial obligations.
What do you mean?
She seemed to think that because I earn a good salary, I should automatically be more generous. That's not how healthy financial relationships work, especially in families.
I see your point. I guess I never thought about it from that perspective.
And another thing, why didn't you tell her about the original debt? She was completely blindsided when I mentioned it.
I don't know. I guess I was embarrassed about still owing you money. I thought if I could just handle it quietly, it wouldn't be an issue.
But now it's become a much bigger issue because she feels like she's being cheated out of a gift. You created this problem by not being transparent.
You're absolutely right. I should have told her about the debt from the beginning.
Honesty is going to be crucial for your marriage, especially about money. You can't hide financial obligations from your spouse.
I know. I'll be more open about everything going forward.
I hope so, because this whole situation could have been avoided with being upfront with her.
So what do you think I should do now? Should I try to talk Jeanette out of asking for the extra money?
That's between you and her, but I will say that I'm not comfortable with the current arrangement.
What would make you more comfortable?
Honestly, I think you two need to have a serious conversation about your wedding budget, and you need to decide if you can actually afford the wedding you're planning.
But we've already put deposits down on everything and sent out all the invitations.
Simon, those are sunk costs at this point. It's better to lose some deposit money than to start your marriage in serious debt.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't think Jeanette will go for scaling back now. We're only 2 weeks away from the wedding.
Then you need to figure out how you're actually going to pay for everything, and be honest with Jeanette about your real financial situation.
What if we can't come up with enough money?
That's a conversation you need to have with your fiancé, not with me. I'm not your financial safety net, Simon.
I understand. I really appreciate you being so patient with all this drama.
I love you, and I want your marriage to succeed, but that means you need to start making responsible financial decisions together.
You're such a good sister, Eleanor. I promise I'll handle this better going forward.
I hope so. And Simon, whatever you decide about the wedding expenses, you still need to pay me back the original debt.
Of course, I never expected that to just disappear. The debt forgiveness thing was just me hoping to kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
I figured as much, but we should probably stick to our original repayment plan regardless of the wedding gift situation.
That makes sense. Thanks for being so understanding about everything.
Just promise me you'll be completely honest with Jeanette from now on. No more surprises or miscommunications.
I promise. Total transparency from here on out.
Good. Now go have that budget conversation with your fiancé.
Will do. And Eleanor, thanks for always looking out for me.
That's what big sisters are for. But I can't protect you from the consequences of poor financial decisions.
Understood. I'll talk to Jeanette tonight and figure out our next steps.
Let me know how it goes. And Simon, good luck.
Thanks. I have a feeling I'm gonna need it. Hey, Ellie, are you free to chat? I really need to talk to someone.
Sure, what's going on? Everything okay?
Things are getting pretty crazy with the wedding stuff, and I'm starting to freak out about money.
Did you talk to Jeanette about the budget like we discussed?
Yeah, I tried to bring it up, but I can't get through to her. She got really upset and said I was trying to ruin our special day.
Simon, you can't just avoid difficult conversations because they're uncomfortable.
I know, but she started crying and talking about how she's been dreaming about this wedding forever.
So what happened with the budget discussion?
We never really got to the actual numbers. Every time I mentioned cutting costs, she'd bring up one of her friends' weddings. Like how Brittany had fireworks and Thea rented tigers. She doesn't want to look cheap compared to everyone else.
But what about what you two can actually afford?
That's the thing. We've already spent way more than our original budget, and we still have some major expenses coming up.
Like what?
The final payment to the caterer is due Monday, plus we still owe the photographer and the florist.
Simon, how much are we talking about here?
Well, that's actually why I wanted to talk to you. We're about $30,000 short of what we need.
$30,000? Simon, are you insane?
I know it sounds bad, but let me explain.
There's literally no explanation that makes spending $30,000 you don't have sound reasonable.
The venue ended up costing more than we thought, and Jeanette really wanted the premium package with the upgraded menu.
You just said yes without checking your bank account?
She was so happy about it, and I didn't want to disappoint her. Plus, the wedding planner said most couples go over budget.
Most couples don't go over budget by $30,000.
Look, I really messed up, I know that, but I'm hoping you might be able to help us out.
Help you out with what exactly?
Maybe you could lend us the money? We'd pay you back as soon as possible, I promise.
Simon, do you realize what you're asking me? That's an enormous amount of money.
I wouldn't ask if I wasn't desperate. We've already tried everything else.
What do you mean you've tried everything else?
We looked into getting a personal loan, but our credit isn't good enough, and we already maxed out our credit cards with the deposits.
Oh my God, Simon. You maxed out your credit cards for wedding deposits?
It seemed like the only way to secure everything. All the good vendors require deposits up front.
This is absolutely insane. You're talking about starting your marriage with massive debt.
I know, it's not ideal, but once we get all the wedding gift money, we'll be in much better shape.
You're counting on wedding gifts to pay for your wedding. What if people don't give as much as you're expecting?
Jeanette's family is pretty well off, and they have a lot of friends, plus your gift will help a lot too.
My gift? Simon, we already discussed this. I'm forgiving your debt instead of giving cash.
Right, but I was hoping maybe you could do both, like Jeanette mentioned the other day.
So you knew she was going to ask me for extra money?
Not exactly. She may have mentioned it after your conversation, but I didn't tell her to ask you for anything.
This is unbelievable. If I didn't know better, it sounds like you're both trying to manipulate me into giving you more money.
It's not manipulation. We're just in a really tough spot.
A tough spot that you created by spending money you don't have.
I get that you're upset. I already feel terrible about this whole situation.
You should feel terrible. You're being completely irresponsible.
So will you help us or not? I'm literally begging you here, Ellie.
Simon, even if I wanted to help, $30,000 is a huge amount. I don't just have that kind of money sitting around.
But you're doing really well at your job, right? And it's not like you have any major expenses like a mortgage or kids.
My financial situation is irrelevant. The point is that you're asking me to enable your reckless spending.
It's not reckless. It's our wedding day. This is supposed to be the most important day of our lives.
The most important day of your life shouldn't bankrupt you.
Please, Eleanor, I'm running out of options here.
Maybe canceling would be the responsible thing to do.
Are you serious right now? You want me to cancel my wedding 2 weeks beforehand?
I want you to make smart financial decisions, but it sounds like it's too late for that.
Come on, don't be like this. I thought family was supposed to help each other out.
Family helps each other, but not by enabling destructive behavior.
Ellie, it's just one more loan. I just made some mistakes with the wedding planning.
Simon, you're $30,000 in debt and you're not even married yet.
Look, if you can't help me, just say so, but don't act like I'm some kind of financial disaster.
Aren't you, though? You maxed out credit cards, can't get approved for loans, and now you're begging family members for tens of thousands of dollars.
Wow. Okay. Thanks for the support, sis. Really feeling the family love right now.
Don't guilt-trip me because you made poor choices. I'm trying to help you see how serious the situation is.
I know how serious it is. That's why I'm asking for help.
But what happens after the wedding? How are you going to pay me back if you're already maxed out everywhere else?
We'll figure it out. Jeanette's gonna look for a better paying job after the honeymoon. We'll make it work somehow. People figure out debt payments all the time.
Simon, this is exactly the kind of thinking that got you into this mess.
So that's it? You're just gonna let me crash and burn? Fine, I get it. You think I'm irresponsible, but I'm still your brother and I need help.
Give me some time to think about it. This is a huge decision, and I need to consider all the implications.
How much time? Because I need to know by Monday. That's when the final payments are due. If I can't come up with the money, we'll lose everything.
Monday? 3 days from now? Everything meaning the deposits you already can't afford to lose?
Exactly. So you see why I'm panicking here.
All right. I'll give you an answer by Sunday night. But Simon, if I do this, there will be conditions.
What kind of conditions?
First, you pay me back within 2 years, no exceptions. Second, you and Jeanette take a financial planning class.
A financial planning class? Is that really necessary?
After this conversation, it's absolutely critical. You two clearly need help managing money.
Okay, fine. What else?
I'll put the rest of the conditions in writing. After talking to Jeanette earlier this week, I want protection. She was pretty aggressive about the money situation.
Aren't you overreacting a bit here? She's just stressed about the wedding. Once everything calms down, she'll be back to normal.
Take it or leave it.
Fine. I agree to all your conditions. Does this mean you'll lend us the money?
It means I'll seriously consider it. I want everything in writing if I decide to do this.
Of course. Whatever you need.
And Simon, Jeanette can't know about this loan. As far as she's concerned, you figured out the money some other way.
Why can't she know?
Because I don't want her thinking she can come to me every time you two overspend. This is a one-time thing to help you out of an emergency.
That makes sense. And honestly, she'd probably be embarrassed if she knew how much we needed to borrow.
Good. So we're clear that this stays between us?
Absolutely. Just between brother and sister.
All right. I'll let you know my decision by Sunday evening. In the meantime, maybe start thinking about how you're actually going to pay this back.
I will, I promise. And Ellie, thank you for even considering this.
Don't thank me yet. I still might say no.
But you might say yes too, right?
We'll see. Try to get some sleep and stop panicking for now.
I'll try. Love you, Ellie. You're the best sister anyone could ask for.
Love you too, even when you make terrible financial decisions.
Thanks for keeping it real. Talk to you Sunday.
Talk to you Sunday. I've made my decision about the loan.
Oh God, please tell me it's good news. I've been stressed all weekend.
Against my better judgment, I'm going to help you, but every single condition we discussed is non-negotiable.
Yes! Thank you so much, Eleanor. You're literally saving our wedding.
I'm enabling your poor planning, but you're my brother. I can't watch you lose everything, even if it's your own fault.
I swear I'll pay you back exactly like we agreed. 2 years, financial planning class, everything.
You better. Because if you default on this loan, it's going to seriously damage our relationship.
I won't let you down. This is going to work out perfectly. You'll see.
I hope so. I'll transfer the money tomorrow morning so you can make your payments.
Perfect! And don't worry, Jeanette will never know about any of this. As far as she knows, I just figured out the money situation.
Good. Keep it that way.
Will do. I can't even begin to tell you how grateful I am.
Just focus on paying me back and learning how to budget properly. I don't want to have to do this again.
You won't. This was a one-time mistake. Once we're married and settled, we'll be much more responsible.
I really hope that's true, because $30,000 is not a small favor, Simon.
I know, and I don't take it lightly. You're the best sister anyone could ask for.
Just don't make me regret this decision, and have a good wedding, okay?
It's going to be perfect, thanks to you. I love you so much, Ellie.
Love you too. Now go enjoy your last week of being engaged.
Will do. Thanks again for everything.
Eleanor, I need to talk to you right now. Are you trolling me? What the hell is this pathetic excuse for a gift? Jeanette, what are you talking about? Is there something wrong with the envelope I gave you? $1,000? Is that what you call a gift? That's the most insulting thing I've ever seen at a wedding. I'm confused because that's exactly the amount you asked me for. We discussed this specifically, and you said $1,000 would be appropriate. Yeah, but that was before I found out you're some hotshot regional director making serious bank. You could have easily given us way more than this measly amount. My salary has nothing to do with our previous agreement. You told me $1,000 would avoid any awkwardness with other guests. But look around, Eleanor. Half these people gave us more than you did. My coworkers who barely know Simon gave us $2,000 each. I'm not responsible for what other people choose to give you. We had an arrangement and I followed through exactly as discussed. Our arrangement was made before I knew how loaded you are. A successful single woman like you should be way more generous. You're being completely unreasonable right now, and frankly, pretty rude considering I also forgave Simon's debt. Oh please, that college debt is ancient history and has nothing to do with me. The least you could do is send a gift fitting for the occasion. I'm tired of being disrespected. What kind of sister-in-law shows up to a wedding with such a cheap gift? The kind who already gave up $2,000 in debt forgiveness, plus the $1,000 in cash you're complaining about right now. You keep bringing up that stupid debt like it's some huge favor, but that money was between you and Simon, not me. It's all connected, Jeanette, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. I've been beyond generous considering the entire situation. Generous? You call this generous? You're single, with no kids, and a great job, but you give us change from under the couch. Simon told me you're just sitting on all this money anyway. He said you're forever single with bailout money, so you might as well share it. He said what? Simon actually said that about me? Well, it's true, isn't it? You don't have a husband or kids to worry about. So helping out family should be easy for someone in your situation. So why are you being so stingy with people who actually have responsibilities? My personal life and expenses are none of your business, and I'm getting really tired of you judging my financial decisions. Well, I'm tired of being treated like garbage by my new family. Clearly you have no respect for me or Simon if this is your idea of support. I have plenty of respect for Simon. I've helped him more than you know, but I'm rapidly losing respect for your entitled attitude. Entitled? Well, I'll show you entitled. I'm done with you and your fake family loyalty. You're a selfish, cheap witch who can't stand seeing others happy. I don't want anything to do with you ever again. Fine by me, but you might want to reconsider that decision. Because cutting ties with me is going to cost you way more than you think. What's that supposed to mean? Are you threatening me now? Just because you have money doesn't mean you can intimidate people. No threats here, Missy. Just stating facts. You really want to talk about money? Let's talk about money. What are you babbling about now? If you think I'm going to apologize for expecting decent treatment, you're wrong. Tell me, Jeanette, where do you think the money for this fancy wedding came from? Because I happen to know you and Simon don't have $50,000 just lying around. That's none of your business and has nothing to do with your cheap gift. We saved up and planned carefully for our special day. Saved up? Is that what Simon told you? Because that's not quite the whole truth, is it? What are you talking about? Simon handles our finances. We've been saving for this wedding for over a year. Oh, honey, you have no idea what's really going on. Your precious husband has been lying to you about more than just my gift. Stop trying to cause problems in my marriage. Simon tells me everything, and we don't keep secrets. Oh, really? So he told you about the $30,000 loan he begged me for last week? The one he needed to actually pay for this overpriced circus? You're lying. Simon would never borrow that much money without telling me. He wouldn't hide something that big from his own wife. Wife? You're not even married yet. And clearly he's been hiding plenty from his fiancée, too. No. This isn't true. Simon promised we had enough saved up for everything. Wake up, Jeanette! You two were broke and desperate. Simon came crawling to me because you'd already maxed out your credit cards. That's impossible. We had a budget and stuck to it. Simon showed me all the receipts and everything. Those receipts were apparently fiction, because he needed $30,000 just to cover your final wedding payments. I don't believe you. You're just trying to ruin my wedding day. You're jealous because I'm married and you're terminally alone. Jealous? Of you? Someone who just found out her marriage is built on lies and debt? I'm not the one who started this fight over money, remember? Even if what you're saying is true, we'll pay you back. Simon's got a good job, and we'll figure it out together. Actually, you won't be figuring it out over time. Since you just cut ties with me, the full amount is due immediately. What do you mean immediately? That's crazy! Why would anyone pay a loan all at once? That's where the acceleration clause in the contract comes in. Simon agreed that if you ever severed our family relationship, full payment becomes due. That doesn't make any sense. Why would he agree to something like that? He clicked agree without reading the terms and conditions because he was desperate and I wanted protection from exactly this situation. Looks like my instincts were right about you. This is insane! You can't just demand that kind of money from us. We don't have $30,000 just sitting around. Not my problem anymore, sweetheart. You wanted to cut ties with me. Now you can deal with the consequences. Wait, please. I was just angry about the gift situation. I didn't mean what I said. Too late for that now. You made your feelings about me very clear in front of all these witnesses. But this will ruin us financially. We can't come up with $30,000 immediately. Please, there has to be some way to work this out. You should have thought about that before calling me names and threatening to cut me off. I'm begging you, please don't do this to us. It's my wedding day and I just got carried away. Your wedding day that I paid for, apparently. And this is how you show your gratitude. I'll get on stage and apologize in front of everyone if that's what you want. Just please don't make us pay everything back right now. An apology isn't going to fix this situation. You've shown your true colors, and I'm done being taken advantage of. What can I do to make this right? There has to be something. Please, I'm literally begging you here. You can start by getting me my money. I'll expect full payment within 30 days or I'm taking legal action. Legal action? You'd really sue your own brother? What kind of person does that to family? The kind who's tired of being used and disrespected. You brought this on yourself, Jeanette. This is the worst day of my life. My wedding is completely ruined now. I tried to be reasonable, but clearly that was a mistake. I can't believe this is happening. How am I supposed to enjoy the rest of my reception knowing this? Not my concern anymore. You made your bed. Now you get to lie in it. Fine, have it your way, but don't expect any relationship with me or Simon going forward. Trust me, after tonight I wouldn't want one anyway. Good luck finding $30,000 in the next month. I can't stand to look at you anymore. You've ruined everything, and I hope you're happy. I'm not happy, but I'm not surprised either. This is exactly what I expected from someone like you. Someone like me? What's that supposed to mean? You don't even know me. I know enough. You're entitled, ungrateful, and financially irresponsible. Have a wonderful marriage, Mrs. Seville. You're going to need all the luck you can get.
Elle, please tell me you didn't mean what you said last night. We need to fix this situation before it gets completely out of hand.
Oh, so now you want to talk to me. Where were you when your wife had a meltdown, calling me names in front of everyone?
I was in shock. I couldn't believe what was happening. The whole thing escalated so fast, I didn't know how to react.
You stood there like a statue while she completely humiliated me. Some brother you turned out to be.
I know I should have stepped in, and I'm really sorry about that. But please, tell me we can work something out about the loan repayment.
Work something out? Simon, your wife wants to disown me. She made it very clear that she wants nothing to do with our family.
She was just angry and upset about everything. You know how emotional weddings can be, especially for brides.
Don't make excuses for her behavior. What she'd said and did was completely uncalled for.
You're absolutely right. It was unacceptable, but surely we can move past this for the sake of family.
For the sake of the family? After everything your wife said about me, you want me to just forget about it?
I'm not asking you to forget about it. I'm asking you to give us a chance to make things right.
So I just exist to hand out money to married people? I'm the one who's forever single with bailout money, right?
What? I never said that. Where did you hear that? Jeanette must have misunderstood something I said.
Jeanette told me you said that about me. She was pretty specific about the phrase, Simon.
Okay, maybe I said something like that, but it wasn't meant to be mean. I was just trying to explain why you might be able to help us out. I'm sorry.
Is that your actual opinion of your sister? That's probably the most hurtful thing you've ever said about me. The contract is very clear, Simon. If she severed our relationship, full payment becomes due immediately.
But that fine print was just meant to protect you from future problems. You never actually intended to enforce it, right?
I put it in the contract for a reason. I absolutely intended to enforce it if necessary, and thanks to your wife's charming personality, it became necessary.
Come on, sis. You know we don't have $30,000. That's why I needed the loan in the first place.
You signed the contract knowing full well what the terms were.
Look, I get that you're mad at Jeanette, but I'm your brother, and I had nothing to do with what she said.
You had everything to do with it by lying to her about our financial agreement in the first place.
I didn't lie to her. I just didn't tell her about the loan. There's a difference between lying and not sharing every detail.
Oh, please, that's exactly what lying is. You let her believe you had the money when you were actually borrowing from me.
Okay, maybe I should have been more upfront about everything, but I was trying to protect her from worrying about the money.
How did that work out for you? Because she seemed pretty worried when she found out the truth.
The whole situation is just a big misunderstanding. If we could all sit down and talk like adults, I'm sure we could work it out.
There's nothing to work out, Simon. The terms were clear and the conditions have been met.
But what about the fact that I'm your brother? Doesn't that count for something in all this?
It counted for something when I agreed to lend you the money. It counted for something when I forgave your college debt. But it apparently doesn't count for anything when your wife curses me out and embarrasses me. So no, being your brother doesn't let you off the hook.
Jeanette's really sorry about what happened. Honest! She's been crying all day about how badly she handled everything.
Crying because she got caught or crying because she's actually remorseful? Because those are two very different things.
It's genuine remorse, I promise. She knows she was completely out of line with what she said.
If she's so sorry, why isn't she the one texting me? Why are you doing all the apologizing for her?
She's embarrassed about how she acted, and she's afraid you won't want to hear from her directly.
She's probably right about that. I have no interest in fake apologies or crocodile tears.
It wouldn't be fake. She really does feel terrible. Please, just give her a chance to explain herself.
Simon, even if her apology was genuine, it doesn't change the facts. She made her feelings about me very clear, and I heard her loud and clear. We all did.
People say things they don't mean when they're upset. Surely you can understand that emotions were running high.
I understand that alcohol and stress can lower people's inhibitions. But they don't make people say things they don't actually think.
So there's nothing we can do to fix this? You're really gonna demand the full $30,000 right now?
That's exactly what I'm going to do. You have 30 days to come up with the money, just like the contract states.
Hell, please! We literally just got married yesterday! Jeanette and I are supposed to be enjoying our honeymoon! Can't you give us some time to enjoy being newlyweds before dealing with this?
Don't ask me for sympathy. You should have thought things over before your wife decided to start a fight. This is the consequence of her actions, not mine.
Listen, there's something else I really need to tell you. Jeanette's been very sick since last night, throwing up constantly.
She's probably just hungover from the reception, or stressed out from the fight she started. She'll get over it.
No, it's not that kind of sick. She's been throwing up every morning for the past 2 weeks.
Every morning for 2 weeks? Simon, are you saying what I think you're saying?
We just found out for sure yesterday morning before the wedding. Jeanette's pregnant, Elle.
She's pregnant? And you didn't think to mention this earlier? How far along is she?
About 6 weeks, according to the home test. We were planning to announce it at the reception, but then everything fell apart.
So let me get this straight. Your pregnant wife attacked me over money, and now you want sympathy?
I'm not asking for sympathy, I'm asking for understanding. We're gonna have a baby and we just can't afford to pay you back all at once.
You couldn't afford the wedding either, but that didn't stop you. Maybe this will finally teach you about financial responsibility.
Please don't be like this, Elle. I'm begging you to work with us on a payment plan.
The contract doesn't allow for payment plans once the acceleration clause is triggered. Your wife made sure of that when she cut ties with me.
But we're talking about your future niece or nephew here. Don't you want them to have a decent start in life?
Of course I do, but that's your responsibility as parents, not my responsibility as the person you borrowed money from.
If we have to pay you $30,000 right now, we'll be completely broke. We'll have to move into some cheap apartment in a terrible neighborhood.
Maybe that's exactly what you need to learn about living within your means. You can't keep borrowing money to maintain a lifestyle you can't afford.
But what about the baby? They didn't ask to be born into this mess. Please think about what's best for an innocent child.
I am thinking about what's best for the child, and what's best is having parents who make responsible financial decisions. If I let you off the hook now, you'll just keep making the same mistakes. The baby deserves better than parents who can't manage money.
So you're really going to force us into poverty for the sake of teaching us a lesson? That seems pretty harsh even for you.
I'm not forcing you into anything. You created this situation by overspending and lying about your finances.
We made mistakes, I admit that. But surely you can show some compassion for our situation.
I showed compassion when I lent you the money in the first place. I showed compassion when I agreed to your ridiculous contract terms. But your wife threw all that compassion back in my face, so now we're dealing with the legal consequences.
What if we could give you $10,000 right now from our wedding gifts? Would that buy us some more time to come up with the rest?
The contract doesn't have provisions for partial payments. It's all or nothing within 30 days. I wrote the contract to protect myself from exactly this situation. I'm not modifying it just because you don't like the consequences.
So there's absolutely nothing we can say or do to change your mind, even knowing that we're about to have a baby?
The baby actually makes this more important, not less. You need to learn financial responsibility before you become parents. If I bail you out now, what lesson does that teach? That you can always rely on other people to fix your mistakes?
It teaches that family helps family during difficult times. Isn't that what families are supposed to do?
Families are also supposed to treat each other with respect. Your wife clearly didn't get that memo.
I know she was wrong, but she's carrying my child. I have to put her and the baby first, even if she made mistakes.
Then put them first by taking responsibility for your debts, instead of trying to manipulate me into changing our agreement.
I'm not trying to manipulate you. I'm trying to find a solution that works for everyone.
The solution is simple. Pay me what you owe me, just like any other adult would have to do.
Fine, we'll find the money somehow, but I want you to know that this could destroy our family forever. I really hope you can live with yourself after this, knowing you forced your pregnant sister-in-law into poverty.
I can live with enforcing a legal contract that you signed. What I couldn't live with is enabling your financial irresponsibility.
Then I guess we don't have anything else to discuss. We'll get you your money within 30 days.
I know you will, and hopefully this will be a valuable lesson for both of you.
The only lesson I'm learning is that money matters more to you than family. That's really sad, Elle.
What's sad is that you think borrowing money comes without consequences. Welcome to the real world, Simon. Afterward, the couple begged their parents for help, but were told, "You're married adults now. Figure it out yourselves." It seems their parents had been wondering why the young couple was having such an expensive wedding. Even so, the couple didn't give up and tried playing the grandchild card. "We're having a baby. Please help us for your future grandchild's sake," getting on their knees to beg. But this backfired when their parents responded. Becoming parents makes it even more important to handle your own problems. That's what responsible adults with children do. In the end, they borrowed from high-interest lenders to repay Eleanor in full, and their parents warned they would provide minimal support and gifts for the baby. The couple had been counting on substantial help with childcare and gifts, so they hurriedly canceled their honeymoon and are now preparing for the baby's arrival in a studio apartment.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.